So should you do your own legals when it comes to small business acquisitions? It's a very good question, and there's a mixed school of thought around this. Some people, are advocates of always do your own legals. You don't want to spend money on legal fees, on professional fees. Others, are obviously the opposite. It's money well spent. I tend to think it depends on the deal. So if you are doing a asset-based purchase, so essentially you're cherry picking specific assets out of a business, then I don't actually really think you need proper legals in terms of paying a lawyer to do that for you. It does depend on the complexity of the asset purchase and how many assets and a variety of other things, but all of my asset-based purchases I've done with my own legals, and there's never been an issue, not once. Share-based purchases, on the other hand, I've done my own legals, and I've also paid for having my legals done by a solicitor. And I can honestly say the deals where I've had most issues are, surprise, surprise, the ones where I've done my own legals. Even if I've thought the legals were watertight, on a quite a recent deal, I essentially done our own legals, but the legals were legal contracts that we had paid for on a previous acquisition. So we're using proper legals, but the problem was that those legal documents were for that specific deal. So when we tried using them for this new deal, and the reason I'd done that was because I wanted to get the deal over the line quickly, there was things that was inevitably missed. And that has actually come back to bite me and has cost money as we've sort of gone into these acquisitions. So if you are contemplating whether to do your own legals or to pay for a lawyer, the first thing I'd say is that yes, you may spend a few thousand on professional fees, but typically it's money well spent, because I promise you will spend many more thousands in time, energy, money and resources if you do your own legals and something goes wrong. And in the world of acquisitions, there's a lot that can go wrong. If you are doing a more simpler transaction, where you are just cherry picking specific assets such as vehicles, machineries, customer lists, intellectual property, etc., then depending on the length of that, then you probably can get away with doing your own legal documents. There's a lot of good templates out there that can be downloaded and adjusted, and if you're really not sure, I would suggest just running that past someone who is a qualified lawyer who can just give you the nod. But yeah, rule of thumb is always assume and budget for proper legals. Proper legals, it will cover your back, and that's the main thing. This is all about protecting our downside.